Hey everyone, I'm Bob Raynor, and this is the first episode of the Friday Five, your quick 5-minute dose of creativity, career insight, and tech inspiration to wrap up the week. And since it's Halloween, my favorite time of year, today's episode is all about fear. Not the kind that hides under your bed, the kind that shows up when you hit publish, when you start something new, or when you try out a new tool that feels way out of your comfort zone. Let's talk about the power of facing fear and how it can actually light your creative fire. We'll start with creativity. Every October, I'm reminded that Halloween is the most creative holiday on Earth. Think about it. Millions of people spend weeks crafting costumes, decorating their homes, and telling stories purely for the joy of it. No rules, no clients, no approvals. And what's wild, the best ideas rarely come from big budgets. The most memorable costumes, the ones that make you smile or cringe, are made from cardboard or duct tape and imagination. Historically, even jack-o'-lanterns started as carved turnips in Ireland. That's proof that creativity isn't about resources, it's about courage. The courage to make something from nothing. It's the same spirit behind my own AI-generated Halloween art series on Instagram. You may have seen it. I call it Autumnal Inspired. Each piece started with curiosity in a new creative tool, such as MidJourney, which is what I like to use, and of course, the willingness to try it. Now, let's talk about creative fear. When I got laid off last year, I'll be honest, I was terrified. Not just about money or stability, but about identity. That fear could have frozen me, for sure. Instead, it pushed me to create Sequence Design, my own boutique creative agency. And I've realized something. Fear is often a sign you're about to start something new. And that's exactly where growth begins. The ancient Celts celebrated Halloween, or Samhain, as they called it, as the time when the veil between worlds was thinnest, a moment of transition and transformation. That's exactly what it feels like to take a creative leap. You've got one foot in the known, one in the unknown, and even if you're scared, and you probably are, you should just do it scared. Now, let's turn to something a lot of creatives still fear, or maybe don't understand, and that's AI. I get it. With how far the technology has come in just 3 years, I can understand how some creatives fear this thing could replace me. But after years of playing with it and using it, I've learned that AI doesn't have to erase creativity. It can expand it, and it certainly speeds it up. Some studies show generative AI makes people more creative, especially those who feel less confident to begin with. It's kind of like having an infinite sketchbook that helps you visualize faster and push your imagination further. And I'm not one that thinks we need to view AI as this ghost in the machine to fear. I kind of view it as a lantern that can help you see more clearly in the dark. So here's a fun Halloween fact. The fear of Halloween itself has a name. Sawanophobia. I love that. It sounds dramatic, but it's a real thing. And it reminds me how often we fear the very things that bring us joy. Take costumes, for example. They let us experiment to be someone else for a night. In creativity, that's called play. It's the power of pretend, and play is where innovation lives. When you allow yourself to step into a different persona, whether it's an artist or a storyteller or even a beginner learning a new AI tool, you give yourself permission to create without judgment. So this Halloween, I encourage you to put on the costume, try the new thing, pretend that you're fearless, and see what happens. Now, this past year, fear showed up in a few big ways for me. Launching an agency, starting this podcast for sure, and putting my creative work out there. Each time the fear was the same, that little voice that said, what if it's not good enough? And honestly, a year and a half later, that voice hasn't really vanished. I just kind of got better at ignoring it. Halloween has a great metaphor for this. We talked about it already. It's the jack-o'-lantern. It's literally a light carved out of something ordinary, meant to scare away the darkness. So here's my challenge to you this week. Pick one creative fear and face it. Hit publish. Send the email. Share your ideas. Light your own lantern and see how it changes the night. Well, we made it. That's it for this first edition of Friday 5. Thank you for listening to my cheesy Halloween metaphors. And if this episode lit a spark for you, share it or drop a comment for me. And until next time, stay brave, stay curious, keep your flame lit. Happy Halloween, everyone.